Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Just Saying Football with Jack and Sean. I'm your host, Sean Gann, alongside my partner, Jack Nicholas. We're here to bring you news, notes, weekly updates, and game analysis of your favorite teams from around the league. Another chance, go check out our website, justsayingfootball.com. Follow us on Instagram at Just Saying, no GWJS for article and video updates. And check us out on Spotify at Just Saying Football. We are in your ears. You can have us on the go. That is what we do, especially when we're heading into a Monday night football matchup like the one that we have today on this week 12, when we have the Pittsburgh Steelers making their way to Indianapolis to take on the Colts. We are in our Zoom format. It happens. It's a part of life. But Jack, what are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I'm very interested in Indy. You know, they're 1-1 under Jeff Saturday. Obviously, they got the first win, then last week with a loss. I'm interested to see how they respond against a team like the Steelers, who have looked a little bit better in the last couple of weeks, but still Steelers 3-7, Colts sitting at 4-6-1. Not a lot of playoff hopes for either of these teams, but I do see everybody kind of leaning towards Indy, and I totally get why. I feel like they're going to try to run Jonathan Taylor down the throats of the Pittsburgh Steelers, but with T.J. Watt back, it's kind of very interesting to me. The Steelers defense is going to be the key factor for me.
Yeah, so I think right now I totally see that trend of why you'd want to go Indianapolis, and I think it makes a lot of sense, especially with how the Steelers offense have played. I mean, the leading receiver on the Steelers offense is Pat Freiermuth, not the guy that you would expect. And Chase Claypool, who's not even with the team, is still third on the team in most receiving yards. So it's clearly a learning year for this offense as they're now under no more Ben Roethlisberger. It's Kenny Pickett now. Yeah. It's totally different. There isn't that guy anymore. There isn't this franchise veteran guy. He's a rookie quarterback, exactly. and this comes with that. We're seeing right now Najee Harris had a struggled year. This offensive line has been struggling a lot this year. So there's a lot going on with this offense currently. We know what this defense can bring. So I think it'll be a close game.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Indianapolis. Jonathan Taylor has kind of been getting into what we saw last year, which is great. I expect Michael Pittman to be heavily involved in this one. And currently the Colts are 10th. They're on the bubble. They're on the outside looking in. They're still 2 games behind the Chargers. So we're coming in that time. We've been talking about it week after week, but now as we're in week 12, we're getting into week 13. These games really, really start to matter. This is what's going to determine whether or not you make it to the playoffs or don't make it to the playoffs. Colts had a heartbreaker last year. They're trying to avoid that this year.
Yeah, and with 6 games left, they're really only with that tie 2 games under 500, and if they win tonight, 5-6-1 is not going to be too bad. The AFC is totally stacked right now, and they're just trying to get involved in that. Jonathan Taylor, I was looking it up. In 6 primetime games, he has over 100 yards. I believe 106 average. Only people who do that in primetime games in their career have been O.J. Simpson and Barry Sanders. So it's been really good for him in these night games. They're at home. Like you said, I like the involvement of Michael Pittman. And I do think that, the Indy offense, even though despite the fact that, they are the second lowest scoring offense up to this week, Pittsburgh is, the 5th worst scoring offense. So I see the 39.5 line, that reflects that. I don't know where to go with the line because it's such a low one to start with. And if they get to a hot start, it's going to be interesting. But, between Najee, even though Najee's averaging about 7 carries more than he has through the first 10 weeks, over the last 2 weeks, he's been averaging 7 more carries a week. I still don't see that production enough from him or Deontay Johnson or the Muth to get things done. Kenny Pickett's just not it for me right now when it's about, like you said, they don't have that veteran. The one thing the Colts kind of do have is that Matt Ryan can just stand there and call his own plays,
Yeah, but that is one they have. I think it's going to be a heavy defensive matchup. It's a 39.5 point over-under here. I'm going to comfortably go with the under. I feel like this is like a 2014 kind of game, 2015 kind of game, but I don't really see either team eclipsing too much above 20 points for some reason. Steelers defense is still really, really solid, despite letting up 30-plus points the previous week to the Bengals. You just can't necessarily sleep on them.
I definitely agree with that you can hit the under. I mean, it's such that's why I'm scared to hit it, but there's someone like Sean to tell me that it's fine because, the thing is both of these teams, they're not high, not high output offenses. The defenses are still there, still good. But like you said, it's just not they just don't have the output for that. And I think that Indy has a little bit more than we expect. Obviously they're missing Leonard in that defense, but they still have Buckner up there stopping the run. I think he's going to be a big issue. Ngakoue and Kwity Paye's been back. I think that the Indy defense is kind of coming at the right time. I think with Jeff Saturday, it's kind of just chaos, but in a good way where you can just kind of let the players do what they need to. There's a lot more freedom on their end. And I think that with the Steelers, the way that they're sitting at 3-7, we did not expect that from them this year.
No, not at all. It could be the first season under Mike Tomlin that they do not hit a 500 or above. Would be insane, but kind of makes sense. Mike Tomlin's one of the best coaches out there. Do need to say one thing before we go? Has nothing to do with this Monday Night Football game. This has to do with football in general. Speaking about the playoffs, if the playoffs ended today, November 28th, today, 4 teams from the NFC East would be in them. That's the entire division. The entire NFC East currently is in the playoffs.
And we got 6 weeks left, and the amount of NFC East opponents that are going down is huge.
Crazy.
And I mean, even with these 2 teams, it's like you don't know. If Indy just slides into the playoffs, wins something, it starts with them winning here at home, and that's like, I agree with you. There's just no other way to go about it. I mean, Taylor has been back from injury, and he is fully healthy, fully back. I think that this is a great opportunity. I mean, Kenny Pickett, man, 7 games, 8 picks. This could be an interesting one for the Indy defense. Won't lie. This seems like one of those things where the Indy defense could maybe get a touchdown. I don't know.
Let's see what happens. Indy fight and try to make it to the playoffs this season. That's all the time they have. Thank you for listening. Thank you everyone for tuning in.
Yeah, thank you guys. Enjoy this Monday night game. Should be a good one. Kenny Pickett, Matt Ryan in Indy. Enjoy us always. YouTube, Just Saying Football. Same thing, Spotify, Just Saying Football. Just Saying No GWJS for all of your Instagram updates. And justsayingfootball.com always. Thanks for watching.
Enjoy.